Yeah, you're engaged.
I am too. I don't have anything to show for it though. Except for an empty bank account.
Oh my. But it was worth it.
It was worth
It's the ring. Beautiful. Okay. Before we start this, I feel like you're going to have to really help my brain in trying to track this story because our engagement is not not a normal story. Beautiful photos. We have beautiful photos, but as far as the story, it's complicated, which shouldn't be any other way.
Yeah, it explains our relationship.
It really does. How are you feeling today?
I feel great. I feel really, really good. My day's going great. Started with a cold plunge. I mowed the lawn, which I shouldn't have to be doing, but you know, we've had.
That sounds like there's something underneath that statement.
Well, we signed a lease that said that there was going to be lawn care, and there's not. So I had to go out and buy a lawnmower and an edger and a blower and do it all myself. And it takes up 2.5 hours of my day.
I know.
And it's like when I don't do it on the weekends,
Yeah.
I have to do it during the week before work. And I get bit by bugs.
Yep.
I do enjoy doing it. But if I have to do it during the week, it really messes things up.
I get it. But you look really good out there with your shirt off.
Thanks, babe.
Pushing that lawnmower.
Thank you.
Blowing. But yeah, it's weird. I get that it's frustrating, but it's like you have this weird relationship with it because I feel like you like mowing the lawn.
I do.
But you complain about it a lot too.
Yep.
So that's how you started your morning. When I saw you, you were a little just irritated about mowing the lawn. And I actually had one of my first good mornings in a long time.
Engagement day and after included.
Yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful memory and I'm so happy it happened. But as far as mental health wise, today was my first pretty good day with my anxiety because I actually got up and did what I know works, which I haven't been doing for I don't know how long. I actually journaled, read my Bible. I am reading this book called The Wisdom of Anxiety that my therapist told me to read.
Nice.
And what else did I do? I finally made my dentist appointment. I made a facial appointment because my skin's dry. And I'm like, I got to figure this out.
Like knocking off
I
to-do
know.
list stuff.
It feels so good in the morning to be able to check something off.
You sent me a voice memo that just made my life.
Oh.
Like, thank you.
Because I think today was the first day I could really appreciate everything that has happened.
Yeah.
With the engagement and just all that you've done, just investing in the ring. And I know that sounds so bad, but I think I was just such in like a, anxiety was just very, very present, more present than I was.
Mm-hmm.
And even though there were so many great moments that I feel like I really was there for, just overall, last week was super busy for me and I didn't handle my emotions always the best. So today it was just like, I had this moment of, wow, like that you planned all that and still wanted to marry me after all the crazy, which we'll get into, and got down on a knee, and that you like invested so much into this ring, not only just finances, but making sure that it was absolutely perfect and everything that you planned. I just think today was the first day I could truly like take in the gratitude and be able to let you know how I felt.
I appreciated it.
I'm so glad.
How was the weekend leading up to the engagement?
So we're gonna just go into it.
I think we should. I think people are wondering why there are two sets of pictures and
our engagement I think is looks confusing because it is confusing. Not the weekend we got engaged, but the weekend before we were with my family
working on a project.
And I love my family so much, but sometimes spending time with them can ruffle up some emotions, some probably insecurities, a little trauma here and there. And it was a lot. This project was taking a lot of our time, and
And
I
it
was
was in
exhausted.
Mentone.
And it was in Mentone, Alabama, where my family is from, where we have our farm house and all the things. So it had been a long day working with the fam. And at night when we were getting ready to go to bed, I just kind of like unloaded on Adam of all my biggest uh like fears, every thought that I have. Um I also was telling him more about like what I've been like working on in therapy, and how my therapist said with the what's all going on, all the work that we're doing, because we're doing some really like intense trauma work right now in my therapy, a lot of deep EMDR and inner family systems work. I think that's what it's called, IFS. And that can stir up a lot of stuff. Add that onto being with my family, which also stirs on stuff. So that night I was just telling you everything, and told you that my therapist said right now I should not be making any big life decisions. And I'm not knowing what that means to you, but I think I was just like, I don't even know what love is. I don't even know. Uh, are you? And then I was like, I don't even know what love is. Like, how do you know you're sure you want to be with me? Are you sure you want to be with me? Like really big questions. And me not knowing that this is a week before you plan on proposing to me. So why don't you go ahead and say how all that felt to you?
Well, I mean, I keep pretty even keel for the most part. But yeah, whenever you were saying this, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like this is literally less than a week away from when I'm planning on proposing. And I was planning on proposing that next Friday. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So I was going through this mental battle of, you know, you know, adhering to what your therapist wanted you to do and not make any big life decisions. And that really stuck with me. I was like, well, this is a pretty big life decision. So I was like, I was in between like preserving your mental health and carrying out my plan and understanding that I might ruffle some feathers here, but the masculine and feminine, masculine is usually very steady and, um, you know,
Even
decisive,
keel.
even keel, whereas the feminine is kind of operating in chaos for the most part. And a lot of like psychology books will affirm that. So I was like, do I just, follow through with my plan, or do I preserve her mental health? I was like, I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
mean, uh, obviously, a lot of you know that are listening know me because my relationships have been a big part of my life, um, and have been on display. And there's been a lot of hurt that people have seen, and a lot of hurt that people haven't. And I mean, I knew that were my life partner before that, but with that gives me a lot of uh, anxiety. I have a really hard time with relationship anxiety, and I'm just now kind of discovering what all that means, and like
I didn't
diving.
even know that was a
It
thing.
is a thing, relationship
Yeah.
anxiety, because you ask big questions like questions that don't like the questions that I have about our relationship don't are kind of ridiculous, and questions that can't really be answered, of like even just saying like, what is love? Is this love the right love? Is it enough? Like those aren't like enough of what? Like questions that you really can't answer, and they're just there to cause fear and anxiety. Um Decision making is really hard for me just in general. And so anytime any type of transition, I think is why my therapist is like, maybe not right now, because any transition uh can come with a lot of fear.
You saying you're not good at decisions is like the understatement of
I
the
know, I
century.
know, I know, I know. So anytime I mean, this is like any type of decision. So think about somebody asking like, will you marry me? I freak out. Even if I know the answer, I'm like, what if I'm wrong? I mean, I'm always questioning myself, which really goes down to me even like liking myself. I think that's what the whole, that big conversation of telling you that my therapist said to not make any big decisions is because we had kind of got down to, I struggle with even loving and liking myself sometimes. So how can I accept somebody loving and liking me fully if I have a hard time doing that for myself?
Yeah.
And yeah, that was a lot to unload. And I obviously had no idea that it was like coming at this point. I did know that it would happen, but I was not rushing it. Anytime somebody would ask me about it, I'm like, I'm completely fine where we are. I'm great. I'm happy. It'll happen when it happens, but I'm in no rush because of what I knew I'm working through, where I was at. And honestly, after that conversation with you and just how you like held that space for me and just kept reassuring me, you're like, no, like you're it. I want to be with you. I am so sure. Made me feel so much better. Obviously, you weren't feeling much better after that conversation.
No, after that
but
conversation,
I was feeling great.
I didn't sleep a wink Saturday night. I didn't sleep at all. And all Sunday morning, I was just like, oh my gosh, like, am I going to have to tell her that I'm planning on proposing? And I was like, don't do it, stupid. Like I kept having that mental battle. And like driving home from Mentone, I was just like,
that was actually Sunday night. We got back Monday.
That's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, Monday, I was like, I'm literally about to propose to her in a couple days. And like, I'm having this mental battle of like, I can't go against her therapist's wishes, whom I've never met.
She's a great therapist.
And I'm sure she's amazing. I'm sure she's great. She doesn't probably know all the intricacies of our relationship. And, you know, I love you, but you're kind of all over the place sometimes. And I don't want to take away any of your emotions and your feelings and, you know, your anxieties. And
I mean, that conversation comes up once every 2 months.
Yeah.
And we just have to, every 2 months, I'm like having this like existential crisis.
Yeah.
And you are so good at being like, okay, here we go again. Let me repeat all the things that help calm her down.
I call it riding the wave.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is a chaotic wave that, you know, some men understand and have to handle. And I feel like I've become pretty good at it. And I never want to take away, like I said, you know, your feelings, your emotions, things that are going on within your body and your mind, because I'm not you. Mm-hmm. But I do want to kind of like this, our song, the banks. Like I want to be the banks to your river because it's trying to overflow at times. Mm-hmm. And I just knew that it would be a lot if I didn't say anything, if I just popped the question on Friday like I had planned. And it probably would have been, especially with all of my family, all of your family, photographers, videographers, everyone around getting ready to experience
How long had you been planning?
I had
the like initial plan
for months. So I got the ring on what is this? August?
September.
This is August. This is August now.
Well, it's the last day of August, I think.
So I got it July.
It's the second to last day of August.
Yeah. Oh. So I got the ring July 20th.
Like okay.
A month ago. But I had been planning with Tori and Seth Bolt for a month prior. Just because I was like, I paid for the ring. It's on the way. I would love to do it at Bolt Farm Treehouse. Like we love it there. It's so peaceful. It's kind of become our little getaway. Mm-hmm. And they were like, well, let's do it. Let's make it happen. So I had been planning for 2 months, but I didn't feel right. It didn't feel right after our conversation, just, you know, kind of like brushing it off and continuing as I planned on Friday. So I told you. And then I was like, whoa, that was a bad decision.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Wow.
Yeah, we sat down to
Yeah,
dinner.
he told me. He told me. So I'm feeling much better. But I was feeling much better, but I had a very busy week. I was shooting something every single day that week. Yeah. So on Monday night, we cooked dinner together. I'm feeling much better. And I remember I sit down and you go, I've got to talk to you about something. And immediately I was like, what? I go, good or bad, good or bad. And you're like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, what does that mean? You're like, I want to talk to you about the conversation from last night. I've been thinking about it a lot. And I was like, I just do that sometimes. Like, I'm sorry. And you're like, well, you said something about you talking about like having these big questions of like, what is love? And, saying that your therapist doesn't want you to make any big decisions in life. I feel like it's only fair for me to tell you that I'm planning on proposing to you on Friday. Verbatim what he said. And I go, what? No. Why did you just tell me? Why did you just tell me?
Oh no, dude.
I'm like, why did you just tell me? Like, I was like, immediately I'm like, why don't you just tell me like you're planning on proposing and we can talk about it. You just told me why did you just tell me? And you're like, you were trying to be so calm and like, no, I know I'm making the right decision right now. It's going to be great. But I just need to let you know so that you can, take this information and
do what with
it? I'm like,
yeah.
What was your
Adam, what's your immediate reaction? You're at the dinner table, you say, I'm going to propose on Friday. Immediately, what are you thinking?
Immediately, I was thinking like, I'm right. Like I should have told you because I didn't want to be responsible for a mental breakdown.
Fair.
And I feel like if I would have put all of that on you on Friday with all the eyeballs watching and how like you wanted it to be, I know you want it to be perfect. It wouldn't have been fair because of the conversation that we had. So I told you, but then when you started to get into like, why'd you tell me the exact date? Why didn't you just say soon? Why didn't you? Then I was like, oh yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said exactly when I was going to do it and where. So yeah, I started to backtrack a little bit. Maybe not the best
like,
way
you're
to
like,
tell
did
you.
I say this upcoming Friday? I meant a Friday.
A Friday. And definitely not at Bolt Farm Treehouse.
No. Yeah, and I remember at first I was just smiling and like, I just thought, like, I thought it was a joke because I'm like, surely he's not really telling me exactly when and where. Like, maybe he's trying to throw me off. And nope. As we continue the conversation, he told me everything. But, and in the moment, like I said, I thought it was a joke, but then I was like, I don't know how I felt. I understood him of not wanting to surprise me so much that it hurt me in any way. But we had talked about getting engaged. So I knew it wasn't, it was coming at some point. So it wasn't like all I probably needed was, hey, like we had this big conversation. I am planning to do this somewhat soon. And that would have been enough prep, I think, for me. And that would have been great. But then once he told me the date, I immediately was like, no, like I don't want to know, which I think is fair.
Yep,
sure. I'm like, I don't want to know. Like that's like the biggest part of it is being surprised.
And you love surprises. And I knew that. And like looking back, obviously I would have done it differently. So I immediately went into damage control. I was like, how can I salvage this? How can I still make it happen? Because so much planning went into it. If you saw my text messages, my emails, like it was a lot because I had like most of my immediate family, all of your immediate family, and then friends, on both sides. And it was a lot of coordinating. And Tori and Seth put so much into it, the coordination, making sure everything was perfect. And I just wanted to,
You still wanted to make it work.
yes.
Even that night, you're like, this is all going to work. It's going to be great. The moment's still going to be there. And so that's how we went to bed that night.
Mhm.
You still like being very stern of like, this is happening on Friday at Bolt Farm Treehouse at 6 p.m. I'm like, no. So naturally, in the middle of the night, I have a panic attack.
Had an episode. Yeah.
That was quite extreme. But you were so great because I just was like happy but sad and didn't want it to happen, but did want it to happen, as far as like I didn't want it to happen knowing, but it wasn't that I didn't want to like
you didn't want to
engaged.
know. Yeah.
But then there's this whole plan, and then I felt like I'm like, I can't talk to any of my friends right now because I don't know how much they know. I don't know how much my family knows. And I just felt very isolated when I was like laying down at sleep, like, when you like lay down at night and your brain can't shut off. And it got pretty intense. And so I had a panic attack and we had all that. And then you're like, it's okay. We can cancel it all. I can move it, whatever. And so that morning I send you like a few voice memos just being like, yeah, like I just want to be surprised. Like, I'm so sorry, but thank you so much for just like listening to me.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you really listened to me. I had that night also when I found out, I emergency emailed my therapist in all caps saying I need counsel.
Oh my God.
Dude, it was intense.
And I was like, I know you said I shouldn't make any life decisions, but my boyfriend is proposing to me on Friday. Help. So we got me in. And because so that was at that night. And then by the morning we had kind of, he'd made me feel so heard and seen. So I go into therapy that day and she's like, how are you feeling? And I'm like, I don't know. I just don't want this to happen on Friday because that's the surprise. And you just told me not to make any life decisions. But here's this man that I do love. And for some reason, he loves me. And still, I'm like, I had an anxiety attack. I literally yelled at him, no. And he still wants to go through this. So like, how are we going to do this? And she helped me a lot that day. We kind of got down to the core of why is this so triggering? Why do I have this much anxiety? And it's just really me having to work on, like loving myself to be able to fully understand and not almost, and I don't want to say, when I say resent, y'all be like, oh my gosh, she resents him. But I resent the way that he views me because I can't view myself that way. And that was really deep and heavy to like realize that there's this part of me that just doesn't understand, why somebody could love me the way that you do. Because I've never been loved like Adam has loved me or felt the way that I feel very seen. But sometimes when you feel very seen, you feel like naked and exposed. Yeah. And the vulnerability there is really hard sometimes because I didn't charm you into loving me. No. I didn't have to play you in any way. And I think in a lot of my relationships, I did that. I wasn't fully my true self and felt like I couldn't be, or they would find out. Yeah. And you found out. Quick. And still choose me. And so obviously that's a lot that I still have to continue to unpack. But the big question that day was, is this something that I want to do with you? And do you want to continue on with me? And I came back home and we talked about it, and you're like, "Hey, I'm here every step of the way. Like, I want to be married to you. I want to propose to you, be engaged so bad." And that just kind of was affirming to me of, okay, like he's hearing that there's a lot of work for me to do in healing some of these old wounds, and you probably being the first real person that's completely safe for me in my
Mhm.
life, and how that can be scary to fully be able to relax into that. And that there's a process for me to get there, but you want to do it with me. And uh that was a good session. It was great to talk to you after. But then she was like, I think we should schedule again for tomorrow.
I
so
was like, great.
so during that time, I'm thinking, you said, I'm going to start calling everyone.
Mhm.
You had let me know that there were friends and family involved, that you were going to you're like, hey, I've got to like call them, let them know it's not happening.
Yeah, so I basically sent Hannah a voice memo, and I was just like, "Hey, babe, let's just postpone it. You know, no pressure at all. I don't want to put pressure on you to do it Friday. Like, let's just have a fun, exciting, not so exciting weekend with our family and not put any pressure on it. Like, we'll push the proposal a couple of months or so. I want you to be surprised." And the surprise factor was the big thing. I wanted
Mm-hmm.
you to be surprised. Without that, it doesn't feel like a proposal. And we had talked about like, well, maybe we just go ahead and do it Friday. And it just didn't feel exciting or fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I I kind of like took the reins and I was like, hey, let's just postpone it. No pressure. And it was seriously like a weight was lifted off of you. You
I
just
felt
changed completely and you're
amazing because I was still, I'm sorry if this is so confusing for everyone listening, because it's confusing for me in my head. I was starting to try to just talk myself into it being okay that day at therapy of like, all right, this is the person, he wants to be with me. It'll be fine. These things never go as planned. But also, I really don't want it to happen Friday, but I'm just going to have to suck it up.
Mhm.
And so that was, I guess, Tuesday. So Wednesday morning, he sent me this voice memo, and truly a weight was lifted off of me. I'm like, ah, it was the best just to hear that he was just taking care of it, that, all the family would be great. We would just have this great weekend together. No pressure. I think that you were like, there's just no pressure, because I had built it all up like, all right, get prepared. You're doing this anyway, even though you're freaking out,
I
which,
said no.
haha.
I said no pressure, but sh what she didn't know was that I was planning behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So I had called Tori and Seth because they are just like they're so calm about everything, and they're just like,
Mhm.
oh, we'll just figure it out. I called them. They literally just had their baby like 2 days prior, and I was like, hey, I know you guys literally just had your baby, Amma, and like you have a lot going on right now, but here's what's going on. And I told them that I told you, and I was like trying to figure out a way to salvage it this weekend. I was like, obviously we can't do it Friday because she knows. And Seth was like, no, no, we can make this work. And I was like, do tell. What can we do? So he and Tori were staying at Tori's mom's house in Hermitage, Tennessee, and they have a beautiful property. There's a pond on the property. They have a barn that we actually went to the baby reveal at,
Mhm.
and it's a gorgeous property for anything. And Seth was like, well, why don't we just have you guys over like you're meeting the baby and we do it in the barn? And I was like, huh, that could work. And so I started thinking about it. And I was like, well, can we dress it up to where it's really nice that Hannah would actually like? And he's like, oh my gosh, yes. Like Tori's mom is amazing. She was an amazing florist back in the day, and she's like really good at this kind of stuff and,
And
and
they host
event
events
planning.
there a
Yeah,
lot.
they do
Yeah.
events. So they basically started sending me pictures of like previous events and like flowers and all that kind of stuff. And they gave me the rundown of how it would look. And I was like, okay, we're doing this. And I was like, I can pull back in the surprise factor, do it on Thursday, and still salvage the weekend that I've spent months planning. So I was like, okay, this could go really, really bad, or it could go perfectly. And I think because you were surprised, like you were so surprised that it happened on Thursday. I don't know if it was like exactly how you wanted to be surprised, but I think it worked perfectly.
Yeah, I had no idea. I was feeling very like I was finally put to ease by our conversation. I had therapy again that Thursday, and I went in feeling so much better. We ended up doing a different type of work, more with like family stuff. And I get home and, debrief with you about everything that's going on. I talked to my mom a little bit, and you were like, yeah, but, we still have to go meet baby Alma tonight. Are you up for it? And I was like, oh, well, it was a pretty hard day at therapy as far as just like getting down into it. But yeah, I can go.
I'm like, you better say yes.
But I was really tired
Yeah.
and just kind of like emotionally exhausted because we had obviously gone on a whirlwind of emotions the past several days. And I remember I was just like, oh, long day, like my hair's dirty. And I think you're like, yeah, I'm taking a shower. You'd gotten like all new clothes for yourself. Still didn't register. He had gone shopping that day. I was like, yeah, look at this. I finally got new jeans that actually fit because his jeans did not fit. And was like, show me everything. And he was like, are you going to jump in the shower? I was like, nah, I'm just going to go dirty.
And I was like, all right, it's all good.
My hair's 3 days old. I'm like, I'm just going to slick it back in a ponytail and just use the oil to slick it back. And then I start getting ready and I was like, I might just wear this. And it was like a very wrinkled pair of white linen pants and just like this white shirt that I probably had pit stains on it from the whole day. Like, not what I would want to get proposed in for sure. And you're like, you kind of said something about that of like, you're like, oh, I guess that's okay for a baby shower. But you said, I remember you said, but the Bolts, they're always like really dressed pretty cool. Like their friends, everybody is always dressed really nice. And I was like, you think? I'm like, and you're like, yeah, they always like have just a full outfit. I'm like, yeah, I guess. I was like, oh, fine. Like, I'm just complaining. Fine. And then I'm like, well, maybe I'll just wear this pink outfit because the baby Alma's a girl.
We got a picture of that pink outfit too,
It
right?
is it's not good. It does not fit well, but I was just like trying to make it work. And you were going to let me wear it.
No, I wasn't. You keep saying that, but no, I wasn't. I was like, if we get to the door and she's still wearing that pink outfit, I'm going to say something, or I'm going to purposely spill something on it because she can't get engaged in that thing. And I knew the setup in the farm or in the barn, and I was like, this pink is going to clash with everything. Like it's going to be so bad.
And I didn't even like it on me. I'm like, oh, I hate it, but I'll wear it. Like that's basically what I said. And then I eventually was like, no, I hate this too much. I can't wear it. I've got to return it.
Yes.
But I still was like, I didn't want to get ready. Didn't redo my makeup. My makeup is from truly, I think 9:00 in the morning. And I don't think I had foundation on, like very minimal. It was to go to therapy. And I knew that I would cry off most of the makeup in therapy. So it was just the remnants left. And I pick out an outfit that was on the floor to wear. I love that outfit just normal day. I've worn it a lot. That's why I was on the floor. It's been like the third time I had worn it. And I'm just like, I'm just putting this on. And I remember I had heels out to wear with the pink, and you're like, oh yeah, those would look good with it. And I'm like, oh no, I'm not wearing these heels if I don't have to. I'm just going to wear some like Birkenstock looking sandals. And you were like, okay, yeah, those are cool.
I was like, those are cool. Whatever. Let's just go.
Like, let's go. Of course, I'm running late, even though I didn't do anything. And we finally get in the car. You went out and got your, not only got yourself new clothes, but you like got a gift for baby Alma.
Mm-hmm. I knew I needed a gift because I didn't have anywhere to put the ring. The ring box was enormous. And I was like, she's going to see the ring box in my jeans if I don't figure something out. So I was like, we got to get the baby a gift. So I went to this store in Green Hills. What is it called? Plaid Rabbit?
Something like that.
And they have tons of stuff. So I just like literally asked the lady, I was like, just find me something. So, and it turned out to be a really cute gift. It's like a little bunny and like a
You
little,
don't have to tell.
little bunny book. I just want people to know I got a gift. But it was a big gift bag, and like they put all the paper and all that kind of stuff, and I put the ring box underneath.
This makes more sense though, because I was like, I'll wrap it. I have stuff, and you're like, no, they had great gift wrapping there.
She wanted to use her own wrapping. I was like, just stop. Like I got a gift bag. And so I put the ring box under the gift in the gift bag with all the tissue paper completely blocking everything. So I was like, all right, perfect. So I had everything set. We drove out there. I was
the whole way I am complaining about life. I'm like, oh, I just need a new brain. I need a new brain. There's this thing that my therapist wants. My therapist is is a part of our engagement. She doesn't know you, but
meanwhile, I'm like nodding and like acknowledging, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, you got to remember what to say, dude. Like it's literally about to happen in like 30 minutes.
I'm like, I got to do deep breathing. Like
and I'm trying to find the AC for the seats because my back is like literally dripping.
Yeah. He's like, I'm so hot, and I'm like, I'm freezing. It's so cold in here.
Like it was a mess driving out there.
And I mean, he stopped and got me Chick-fil-A. He's like, I think you need some food. We need to get you something to eat. And I'm like,
because she hadn't eaten all day, and I know when you don't eat all day because of what your ADHD, you kind of forget. You are in a bad mood. Like you're testy, and I'm like, all right, let's feed this girl.
So we stop and get Chick-fil-A, and I'm like, oh, is there going to be other food here? Like, I am the most negative person, and you're just continuing to just listen to me, and you're like, do you want to breathe together? I'm pretty sure you asked, like, you are like,
wow,
being great. We get there. I get out of the car. I think that's when I'm like, yeah, I mean, I just need like different. What did I say? Something like wavelengths? I was saying something about my brain and something stupid about how I needed them to put things on my brain to change the wavelengths going in my brain. That's the last thing I said going in.
I was just like, yeah, okay.
But right before I go, is there something in my teeth from the Chick-fil-A? And then he's like, oh yeah, there is.
There was a huge chunk of chicken right in her teeth. And it's crazy because you stopped me to get me to look. And if I didn't look, all of the pictures, you would have had this huge chunk of chicken.
Chick-fil-A chicken.
So we like stopped and we went back to the car right before we got into the barn, and like she toothpicked it out. And I was like, oh my gosh, that would have been bad.
That would have been really bad.
Yeah. So then we walk, I lead the way into the barn.
I remember you also said as we're pulling up, you're like, oh yeah, we must be like, not everybody's here yet. And even I made the excuse. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's 6:32. I mean, we're just 2 minutes late, which is early for me. Like, I think I say something like
but I had them park any car that they had. So I think it was, Tori's, Seth's car, and then Tori's mom. So it looked like there was a gathering, and we were right on time. So it's like, oh, not everyone's here yet.
So I just didn't think anything of it. And I was like, okay, like we're just going to be here for a little bit, right? And you're like, yes. We just need it. Let's see baby Alma, tell him congratulations, give him the gift. I'm like, okay, let's go.
And as we drive by, I can see in the barns, because I told them to shut the barn doors and they texted us an excuse being like, hey, we're trying to keep the mosquitoes off of Alma. The barn doors are closed. Just go ahead and come on in when you get here. And we drive by and I see all the lights in there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope she didn't see that. She had no idea.
No idea.
She didn't see it.
Even as I'm walking into the barn, I go, I see the setup and go, this is interesting for a baby celebration, I guess. Like I'm like, oh, I guess we're all taking pictures of the baby here.
Like with all these flowers on the ground, like all these candles.
I was just like, oh, pink. Okay. Like no idea still. And then I hear, honestly, it was like hearing the song in the background. Even the photographer, I'm telling y'all.
Well, the photographer is kind of hidden. I mean, she did a great job. She's amazing. Kenzie, shout out. But yeah, I mean,
I heard the song in the background, but even at first I was like, oh, they're playing Need to Breathe just in the background, because when we're talking about Tori and Seth Bolt, Seth is a part of Need to Breathe, the band, and our song is a Need to Breathe song. But then it like all hit at one time when you're like, come on. And I'm like, I look down and go, no.
You said, why am I wearing
I
this?
was like, why am I wearing this? And you're like, just come on. And I was so shocked. Definitely didn't see it coming. Just like laughing, but also being like, you've got to be kidding me. I thought I was prepared now, so I could look good every time that we went out. And this is the one time that I didn't think anything was going to happen, that I'm wearing clothes that were on the floor 3 days old and my hair. So I'm freaking out about that. And then it was really beautiful in there, but I think I was just so shocked because I couldn't even wrap my head around that it was all for us, I guess, too. And then
I brought the surprise back.
You brought the surprise back for sure. And I remember, said something about how like
this is
nothing exactly, you're like, this is exactly how it was supposed to go. Nothing with us is really like conventional or something like that.
Yeah. So I basically started with, this is obviously not how I planned everything.
Yeah.
But nothing in our relationship was super conventional to begin with. We met in a pandemic. We met on a dating app. We were literally living steps from each other and we didn't even know it. So many things happened in our relationship that were just kind of like unconventional. And I kind of brought that into it. But then I told you that I've wanted to marry you for so long. And like, I knew from the moment that I met you that you were someone worth fighting for. And even when you pushed me away, even when you rode away from me on your bike after our first date and didn't even say goodbye, like I was like, I know that this girl is special and someone worth fighting for. And you are. And I still fight for you to this day, and I will till the day I die. But I knew that I wanted to bring that into what I told you because it's so true and relevant.
Yeah. I mean, if anything was as ominous, is that the word? Ominous? I think so. As me riding away on the bike, so frazzled, getting there late, frazzled. Okay, bye.
To our first date.
To our first date. To how our relationship is. Yeah, it was really sweet. Everything that you said was super sweet and
explain the ring.
And I was like, wait, you have to get down on your knee. And you're like, give me a second.
I was like, just give me a second.
I want to tell you about the ring.
I want to tell you about the ring. I told you, the past, present, and future, but also the Trinity and how keeping God at the center of our relationship is very, very important to me. And and then I got down on one knee and asked you, and you said yes.
I said yes.
And then you started talking about how you just had Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh, I just had Chick-fil-A. And it was in my tooth. Like, that's like the very next thing I said after yes.
And we have a video, and we can share that at some point if we want.
Because I was so very shocked. And I was like, yeah, I mean, you definitely brought the surprise factor. I was not prepared.
And the ring fit. I was worried about that. I was like, I don't know why. I was just like, the worst thing that could happen is this ring not fit on your finger, like being too big. Or being too small. If it was too big, fine.
Yeah. Oh, and I mean, before the Chick-fil-A comment, I did comment on how beautiful the ring is. Because I mean, it's perfect. It's so pretty. I did not help pick out the ring, really. We had tried on a ring that was similar to this just randomly one day with my family.
It was over Thanksgiving in last year, 2022.
Yeah, in Tuscaloosa, and like this at one of the jewelers there in town, because my brother had gotten married and they were picking up a wedding registry gift or something. I don't know. So we ended up being in the looking at all the jewelry, and I was the one that was like, should we just like look at them and see? Because I've never well, that's a lie. I definitely had one engagement ring. But we hadn't done it together, and it was like a really casual thing. They didn't have much there, but there was one that was a 3-stone, and I was really surprised by how I liked how it looked on my finger, and it wasn't a big thing.
But that's where I got the idea of the 3-stone.
Yeah. And it wasn't really talked about again until I did go to Ring Concierge where you got the ring, who you worked with to design the ring. You set me up an appointment when I was in New York for like some of my special forces press. And you were going to come and then you didn't. And I was so bummed. And I still went, but it wasn't the same. And I tried on a few different rings, but they didn't have a 3-stone for me to try on. And I still was like, that's the one in my head. I wasn't going to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
And I did like other shapes, but this was the one that we tried on together and that you liked. And I didn't have anything to see at Ring Concierge. So I think I was just like a little bummed when I was just looking at the stones because I just kept thinking about the 3-stone. And you also liked it, but you didn't like really tell me what you were going to do. And I had no idea that you had been working with them. I don't even know when you started working with them again after.
I reached out to them in February of this year.
Okay.
I was just like, hey, I'm going to have to make a trip up to New York at some point because I love your guys' product.
Because I had shown you Ring Concierge because I had seen some of their rings and I was like obsessed with them.
And then one of the coordinators reached out to me and was like, hey, I want to set up a call with you and one of our ring specialists. And that's what got the conversation going. But I had been planning the ring from February until I received it last month. So it was a long process.
And like
I will say it's a long process, but it was a very easy and seamless process because they were amazing to work with.
But like you had said something the other day, because people will ask us all the time, like, oh, ready to get engaged. And you had said things like, I'm still like saving up money for that big ring that she wants. So like, I just thought that was really the process, where you were in the process, not knowing probably when you said that you had the ring. Where were you keeping it?
I was keeping it at work in a locked drawer. And I knew I couldn't keep it at home. Yeah. Because the cleaners and they move stuff and I didn't really have like a safe place to put it. So I have a locked drawer in my office at work and I just kept it there. And I would pull it out every now and then and be like, dang.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a good looking ring.
We ended up after taking the pictures that Thursday night with the photographer that was there, I was like, let's get a drink to celebrate. And so we went out to get a drink. But I was scared if somebody saw. I wasn't ready to tell anybody. So didn't I wear my ring this way?
You turned it around.
I turned it around like Sweet Home Alabama style. I remember when she and then somebody grabs her hand, or the mother-in-law, and then sees it's the ring. I did that, but nobody grabbed my hand. And we had a drink, and then I found out, everything's still happening Friday of like us going up, and my mom knew. So we called my mom on that night, and I was like, how did you like play this off with me and not tell me? And she was so happy, but I was still like, didn't tell a lot of my friends because I weirdly wanted to keep a surprise for them because a couple of them were going to be at Bolt Farm Treehouse thinking we were going to still get engaged on Friday. So then there was like this whole, okay, what are we going to do? Are we going to text everybody and tell them? And I was like, no, I love a surprise. Let's like make a video of the footage that we have from us getting engaged, and they're all going to be gathered in a room so you could get on and like tell them thank you for coming. But sometimes plans changed. And
so I just ended up editing a video of me in front of the camera just saying thank you so much for coming. We're so happy that you're here celebrating one of our favorite places. But as you know, sometimes plans change. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. And I cut to the video of me down on one knee proposing, you saying yes, all this celebratory things after that. And then I had the coordinator at Bolt Farm text me after the video was over for us to walk in and surprise everybody.
And we still had you had set up a photographer and a videographer for the Friday engagement, and you ended up not canceling all that, but they just captured the surprise of our family and being able to be with them. And it was so funny. Like, we were like creeping on the stairs and you could hear them all go, oh my God. And being able to walk in and them just be like so shocked and happy.
That was one of the most special parts.
That was so
just
fun.
Like our whole family and friends just so excited, hugging. I mean, it was great.
I'm glad we kept the photographer and we got to have all that.
Yeah.
But 30 minutes before we go to surprise them, I slice my finger, like my fingernail open.
Like the ring finger.
Of the ring finger. And so blood is just like gushing down my hand.
I was like,
for like,
this is a movie.
I was seriously like, babe, what are you doing?
I was putting on, I wore like a white dress that I had weirdly bought that week for a shoot that I had on like Tuesday or Wednesday. That was in like a green grass garden and ended up not wearing it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. This like looks like a wedding dress and we can get some pretty pictures. And I'm putting the dress on and I'm like, oh, why is there, I guess that's blush on my hand. And then I realize it's all blood and I have my white dress in my hand. And for some reason, God did not let only one tiny drop of blood on the dress. But like, yeah, my hand was just like covered in blood. I kept trying to like, hold like compress on it, like trying like to get it to stop, and it wouldn't. And we're about to walk in. I have to wrap my hand up.
We have pictures of this. It's hilarious.
In this napkin, and we don't have Band-Aids. So then I have to I used a ponytail holder and just like wrapped the tissue in the secure with a ponytail holder. And of course I come in, I'm like, oh, surprise. And they're like, what's on your, what happened? I'm like, honestly, I have no idea. I still don't know what I cut my hand on.
It was like a paper cut that like never stops bleeding.
Yeah.
It was bleeding for hours.
It was so funny. So a lot of our pictures have this big makeshift bandage on my ring finger. And then, yeah.
But then everything worked out because we had a photographer, we had a videographer, we got amazing shots, like right outside of the honeymoon cabin that we stay at. It's overlooking the bluff in Whitwell, Tennessee.
It's so beautiful.
It's just gorgeous.
And then we got to have our whole family there to celebrate. We all ate dinner together. Kind of filled them in on what had been happening the whole week and all the chaos that was within that, and like, which
turned out to be a lot of fun.
It was
like telling that story and then being like, oh my gosh,
yeah,
like, that sounds like you guys.
Yeah. And then, yeah, we had a great weekend. We
rented the boat on Saturday. We had 2 pontoon boats, tied them up together, and like my nephews, which I was really worried that the boys would be I don't know how they were going to react to their first lake trip, and they loved it. It
was so fun. Came back, we all made homemade pizzas together and just like got to celebrate us with everyone. It was great. Had some s'mores, late nights with the fam. It was a really special trip. Mm-hmm. And I came back. I had also planned another therapy session on Monday because I thought like, oh, we're still all getting together, but what am I going to feel like after it not happening?
It's like, hey, doc, we got a whole other bag of issues.
Yeah.
Here.
And so I come in and I'm like, she's like, oh, how are you? I'm like, well, I got engaged. And she's like, what? I'm trying to track, but it was all good. My therapist has no red flags about you. And it's really, good. She has more red flags about me.
Well, I think I might have some red flags about her.
Come on. No, she's the best. No. But yeah, it has taken me the past few days to really let it all sink in. And I think it's cool to be able to share our story and be really honest with it. Cause it seems like everybody, when they get proposed, like you see the proposer, like, oh my gosh, it must've just been like magical and no bumps in the plans. And that's just not the case. And even just like my own mental health, like sometimes like I can't control that. I wish I would have been like my very best for one of the like most special days, but I wasn't. And you allowed me to be exactly where I was and to continue. You don't make me have to pretend to be on when I'm not, or you just kind of love me the way I am. And man, you, you really loved me this this past weekend and week. And I think, yeah, I am so happy. The fog of anxiety is like slowly lifting. It's not how I would have planned to like feel as far as just like dealing with my own mind. But I did still feel all the love and so supported. And it was still like a very magical weekend. It was still magical in its own way.
I agree.
So yeah, that's our story. And it feels good to tell everybody now. But I did ask you guys on Instagram to ask me any questions that you've had and that we would answer. So Andrew, producer Andrew, let us know. What do we have from the folks?
First question.
Okay.
Are you going to get married in California, Tennessee, or Alabama?
Oh my gosh.
Even thinking about
thinking about a wedding right now is just too much. I mean,
but definitely Tennessee.
We made it here. Is all that we're celebrating right now. But yeah, I mean, of course, some of those thoughts after the crazy intrusive ones come, then I start thinking about the wedding. And we've been talking about it a little bit.
So my brother and sister-in-law got married in Belmead
in
at this
Nashville.
Beautiful venue. And that has kind of always been like, ooh, that would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Their wedding was amazing. It was so fun.
Yeah.
And I've always kind of had this vision of having not a huge wedding, but like I have this picture of all of my groomsmen, my best man and my groomsmen up there. And like, it's a big group. And it feels like I would be missing something if I didn't have that. So as long as I have that, I don't care if like nobody is
Mm-hmm.
there other than our wedding parties.
Yeah. I mean, I used to think I wanted a big wedding. And we've talked also about somewhere in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm leaning towards, like, for me, I would love a destination wedding that's like more intimate. But then, as he says, that leaves a lot of people out. Some family maybe don't have the means to do that. But I'm like, yeah, but that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. He's leaning towards a big wedding. So obviously we have not come to any conclusion, agreement on that. And with me, I mean, my mind changes every day. So
are you guys thinking
who
like
knows?
9-month engagement, year engagement, not putting a time on it?
Not putting a time on it, but also there being a lot of time for me to
being a lot of time,
like a longer engagement.
Yeah.
And when I say long engagement, not like a 4-year long engagement, but
sure.
Like next summer feels really soon.
Yeah. I mean, we just launched this podcast. I have some other projects that are in the works. I don't want to overload myself too much, but I don't want it to be too long as well. We'll see.
Within 2 years.
Yeah. And I don't know if I really want it to be 2 years.
Yeah, we'll see.
I would like maybe a year long engagement, maybe in a couple of months.
Are you going to change your last name?
Oh, good question. Was that on the list? Dang, good question.
I was curious about that, though.
I'm changing my last name to Brown.
Would you? No.
I
think I will. Yes. Yes, I will. But I don't know if I'll change like my Instagram handle that says @HannahBrown.
I don't care about that.
Yeah, I don't care about
just
your
say
Instagram
no.
handle. So you'll be Hannah Woolard.
I think.
Or Hannah Woolard.
I think I'll still have people call me Hannah Brown. Some facing. I don't want people to feel like they have to change my name and everything. But I guess it would be Hannah Brown Woolard for sure. We would keep the Brown. I don't know. That all gets kind of confusing because then you have to
change
everything. But
I'm curious how other people have
exactly.
So my ex-employer, Greg Lauren, his wife is Elizabeth Berkeley.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times she still gets called Elizabeth Berkley,
Yeah.
but it's like Elizabeth Berkley Lauren.
Yeah.
And like people shorten it to EBL, like EBL. I mean, I think it just depends on what the situation is. And like, if it's a magazine article, they'll probably do whatever you want, but like,
Yeah. I think yes, I
like
will
you
change
still,
my name.
you still need to be recognizable as
Hannah Brown.
the personality.
Yeah,
Yes.
you've built like a whole brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm going to take his last name, but it will be Hannah Brown Willett.
But like a dash.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have a hyphenated name.
Mm,
Who said I love you first?
I did.
He did.
Do you remember when?
I do.
You do? When was it? I don't know the day. I remember what was happening.
When did I say it? Oh, I remember when I said it.
Wait. You said it,
Mm-hmm.
and you didn't.
I didn't say it back.
She didn't say
No.
it back.
We got to talk about that.
It was almost like a bachelorette kind of thing. Oh, thank you for sharing that with me. And I was like, all right, whatever.
Look, as I have said, I have after everything in my life, anything with relationships and like moving,
It's been a lot of baby steps.
yeah, moving forward too quickly kind of catches me off guard. And not even that it was really quick. I mean, it kind of was quick, but I didn't want to feel like I was putting any pressure on myself. And I think I said like, yeah, thank you for sharing. No, I didn't say that. But I made it clear that like I want to be able to say that when like I'm fully ready.
Yeah. And I appreciated that. That is honestly one of your most attractive qualities, like your authenticity. You literally, it's impossible for you to like lie.
Yeah.
Which sometimes I'm like, come on, babe, like lie to me about that.
Yeah. So that was pretty early on in our relationship. And it wasn't like that much longer after I told you that I loved you. Yeah.
Kids. Boom. We don't know the wedding date, but children. Do you guys want to have kids? If so, when?
For sure. I do.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, that's a massive question.
I do want to have kids at some point. I don't want to anytime soon. I definitely am not looking at other people's babies and like, oh, I want one. I'm like, oh God, I can't even imagine. But yeah, I hope I will start to feel that way. But also, no pressure, no rush. But then there is like the whole thing about being a woman and wanting to have babies and time. I mean, I just can't even think about that right now. A lot of things are just tabling.
Like I told you, like with my sister-in-law, I think there was a moment in time when it just was like, oh my gosh, I need to have a baby.
Mm-hmm.
But like before that, I don't think they were 100% sure that they were going to have kids. I think my brother was always, wanting to. And like, I don't know why. I just feel like I'm made to be a father.
Oh my gosh. That is probably the reason I want to have kids, is more for like you to be the dad that I feel like you are just, our kids are going to just be so blessed. Is like, you are so great with kids. And like, that's why I want a little girl so bad. But the Woolard family has only had 2 girls in 200 years.
What?
It's been a minute.
In 200 years, only 2 baby girls.
That's a crazy stat.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I want to have a little girl. And also this is crazy because I've always wanted to have boys. I always wanted to be a boy mom until I met you. And I was like, oh my gosh, like you would be the best girl dad. So I'm believing that when it happens, we're
going to have 3 girls.
We're going to have 3 girls. No,
Boom.
but one day, I'm excited for one day. It's just not quite yet. And I think we should celebrate the moment that we're in. I'm trying to stay present.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well
Stay in that,
Yeah.
the center ring.
Yeah.
Would you have, you're a huge Taylor Swift fan, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm kidding. Did you think at all that he would maybe propose there? I feel like that's like a trend.
Oh my gosh.
I knew not
If
to.
that is like such a That would be horrible for me.
Yeah. Anything I knew.
Anything like with
in
a bunch
public.
of people.
Yeah.
Like when people get married in like nice restaurants or at Disney
World.
or at concerts, like
Can't do it.
that's like my worst nightmare.
Mm-mm.
I know for some people that's super special. Not for me.
No.
So no. But it was sweet. Like when the proposal was going on, like we kind of mentioned before, one of our songs is it's called Banks by Need to Breathe. And then he had Taylor Swift's You're in Love that played. And then Dancing in the Moonlight is our other song. So that was sweet. So she was a part of the day.
Good.
In some way. Yeah.
I'm going to end with one question for Hannah, one question for Adam.
Okay.
What would you tell 2019 heartbroken Hannah? This is a question from a fan.
Oh my gosh. I think I wanted it. I think in 2019, I wanted, I was trying so hard to find love and to feel loved by someone and to be able to like reciprocate that back. But, I think I would tell her that she doesn't need to try. That she will feel love, that she will sometimes not feel like she can like always understand, but I think that I didn't need all the stuff around me to make me desirable and lovable, because I still didn't feel that then, and I'm starting to feel that way now, but somebody will just like see that, and yeah, that will be real. That's what true love is. I think I've had to like really, I've learned so much about what love is and isn't through our relationship. And people have asked like, oh, when was the moment that you knew? And it wasn't a moment. It was him honestly constantly showing up and not trying to change me, but trying to like hold me. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. And being like, you're lovable just the way that you are. Yeah.
You are.
Yeah. It's very sweet. No, like, it's just like, I don't think I've ever thought that's what love is. I'm still trying to understand and answer my question of what is love, but I think what we have is pretty much it. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Adam, she kind of mentioned there was people have asked about like a moment before we went on. You had kind of implied that you had a pretty specific moment where you knew like she's the one.
Yep. Yeah, it was the weekend, and this was months into our relationship. It was the weekend that we visited Nashville when we were still living in LA. When you met my family, you were going to be in Nashville anyway, and I knew it was early in our relationship, and I was like, is this too soon? But it felt right for me, and I was like, if she says no, that's fine. She doesn't have to meet my family, but you did meet my family. And it just felt like you were part of the family for the longest time. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I saw you as a part of my side of the family. And that's kind of when I knew. I was like, seeing you hold my nephews and just like, it just felt warm and cozy. And yeah, that's when I knew for sure.
Which is also so funny because we were in Jordan Davis's music video also that weekend.
And I proposed
and
to
you proposed, and
down.
I turned him down.
In the video.
But that didn't happen this time.
Nope.
So yeah, that's our story. And I am very happy. Obviously now you can see why I couldn't just answer this in like a few Instagram story slides. It's a very complicated and there was a lot that went into this engagement happening, but I'm so happy and thankful for you and excited for our future.
Same.
Yeah. And if y'all have any more questions, like I'm sure I'll be talking about it more and we'll want y'all to be a part of it. But it was nice to have a few days to have it to ourselves. And honestly, this is the first time that I feel like we're really like
processing,
processing
it ourselves.
what all went into getting to today. But it's been fun.
So fun.
I'm sure it'll continue to be quite interesting and fun. But you said you wanted to be with me every step of the way.
I love you, babe.
I love you. Oh, okay.